All right, now let's move on to something called wrapping, okay? Wrapping is Revit's ability, or your ability again, to manipulate certain layers within the wall every time you place either a window or a door, or there's some kind of an interruption within the wall, okay? So I'll give you an example here, and I personally really don't like the default Revit families when it comes to windows. So let's say if I do WN window, and if I just kind of put it in the wall, they come with this very, I mean, even the representation here is absolutely awful, but they come with these frames on the inside where they kind of put their own material, and I don't like it. This is not how, especially for institutional buildings, how it works. So instead of a window, I'll give you an example here with just a wall opening, okay? And you can create a wall opening if you go to architecture, and then here to the right, there's openings, wall, select the wall where you want to create that opening, and I just kind of create a super random outline. So one of the things that you can see right away, and I think that I can maybe bring this, you know what? All right, fantastic. So you see that I have this opening. For rendering purposes, sometimes what is nice, if let's say your brick turns a little bit and let's say reaches somewhere, and if your gypsum wall board also does the same, because right now, if I go in my 3D, let's say I'll do fine, and I'll say, let's say realistic, okay? You would see that, I mean, okay, ugly texture of brick, we got it. But you would see that besides the texture that we have on the wall, and this is kind of what we want, on the sides, there's nothing. There's just the default material. So even if you do Enscape, V-Ray, or, you know, like Lumion, it would just say, oh, this is a default wall material, and just put it white, and you cannot necessarily control it on per element basis. So one of the things that you want to be able to do is to have something wrap here, maybe on both sides. So one way you can control this is you can select the wall, guess where we're going, edit type, you got this one. So hit edit type, and you'll see that here, right underneath structure, I have something called that says wrapping at inserts and wrapping at ends. So I would put both of them to, let's say, exterior for now, just so we can observe what happens. And I'll hit apply. And okay, there we go, it worked. So if I look at my opening here, I can see that there's a bunch of layers which wrapped around. And I can also see that in my 3D, this is also reflected. So now when I render, I don't have this kind of like random material there. Also, personal opinion makes your plans look a little bit more legible. Personal opinion, a lot of people might disagree with me. The thing is that, first of all, you can actually control which layers do the wrapping, and also if it comes from just the exterior side, the interior side, or from both of the sides, okay? So let's fix that. If I select my wall again, and if I go into edit type, if I hit edit, you would see that here, not only can we determine the materials, the thickness, and blah, 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 but also if this particular layer needs to wrap or not, okay? So in my case, I don't need my thermal, like my airspace or whatever to wrap. All I just need is the brick. And on the inside, I would just leave the gypsum board to turn. Okay, this is going to be the only thing. And I'll say, okay, click, click. So now you can see that it's only the brick that's turning. Okay, great. But we're still missing, you know, maybe the inside can do it as well. Select it, edit type. And then and then instead of exterior, let me see if I do both, what would I give me? Yeah, because sometimes it considers openings as an end, which is kind of nuts, but whatever. So let's say if I do interior, you would see that in this case is the gypsum wall board, which is gonna do it. All right. So this is your wrapping. If I take that wall and if I just kind of make it freestanding here, you will see the same thing happen, which is nice. I can imagine if you have like some kind of an exterior wall, but not to the building, like legit outside of the building, where you have, I don't know, some kind of a structure in the middle and just 2 aluminum panels on the side, and you're gonna put a sign on it. Well, then, you know, you would have, let's say, aluminum structure, another aluminum, and you can just make one of them wrap around, so you don't have to do any painting after this whatsoever. You can just go ahead and render. You know, you can put your sweeps, you can put your reveals, if you have any particular joints, and just call it a day. That's it. So this was for wrapping. Let's move on.